So WordPress and Elementor for the third sector. Let's take a moment and have a quick recap of some reasons to consider these two fantastic tools and running through exactly what they might do for you, as well as a couple of other useful plugins that we would like to touch on today too. So what is WordPress? For those of you that haven't already heard or worked with WordPress in the past, it's what's known as a content management system, or a CMS, and it's got to be quite easily the most powerful website builder in existence today. So subsequently, you'll find that 43% of websites on the internet are built on WordPress. And as you can imagine, that's an incredible number of websites. And not all websites use content management systems, but for those that do, 65% of them will be built on WordPress too. Since 2011, usage of WordPress has increased by roughly 12% a year. So it's safe to say it's continuing to grow. And a testament to its global reach, the WordPress project is already translated into 60 different languages, so you can see it's far-flung. A new WordPress website is launched every 2 minutes on the internet, and we're going to be taking a closer look at WordPress shortly, with a particular focus on a plugin named Elementor, which brings me to my next slide on Elementor, which is essentially a plugin page builder for WordPress that gives you all of the tools you need to create an excellent looking content for your website. And that includes functionality such as an easy drag and drop interface, access to thousands of, not hundreds, it's actually thousands of ready to use widgets, automated responsive design to ensure your website works well on any screen size, and a real-time preview across multiple devices so that you can see the content that you've created and how that's going to look on a tablet or a mobile phone. And again, we'll demonstrate that shortly. And another thing that I'd like to demonstrate today is just how good the revision history is in Elementor. It's quite easily the best history or revision system that I've seen on any page editor. So in addition to this, there's a huge community of active users using Elementor and plenty of online training resources in what they call the Elementor Academy. So if you do want to have a quick look at some more of the functionality, do take a look at the Elementor website when you have time. We're also going to take a brief look at another two of our favorite tools for WordPress, which are the Yoast and Monster Insight tools. Although these aren't essential, both of these tools are completely free of charge and will help you both optimize your content for the best performance and view analytics data in a simple to understand format. There are paid versions of both of these plugins available, but to be honest with you, you more than likely won't require them. So Yoast is an SEO or search engine optimization tool that helps you improve your content, and we'll take a bit of a closer look at that today as well. And Monster Insights is a tool that gives you a really fantastic interface to track your website's performance using the Google Analytics system. And again, we'll go through that in a bit more detail. If you have any specific queries surrounding web development that we can't answer today, and if we don't have time to answer all of those in the Q&A, we'd certainly recommend taking a look at what we can do for you in a consultation. So please do feel free to book a consultation with us, and you can do so by using the consultation link in the webinar chat. So to begin our live demonstration of how we use WordPress and these fantastic plugins to manage our very own website, I'm going to first share my Google Chrome window with you, so do bear with me. Fantastic. So as you can see here, I'm at my WordPress login page. So for those of you that already have WordPress, you'll already be well versed in how to log in. For those of you that don't, each WordPress website will come with its own login page, which will be given to you. So I'm just going to log into our WordPress website here today to begin the demonstration. So one of the first things you'll note here is that we've actually got multi-factor authentication switched on our WordPress website. This is something that we find quite important. And for those of you that have WordPress websites and would like to find out more about multi-factor authentication, do drop us a line or send us a note message, and we can certainly assist. So when I click send me a push, it's going to send my mobile phone a notification, and I'm just going to approve that right now, and it's going to let me into the WordPress website. So the very first thing that we see when we're brought onto the WordPress dashboard is a few of the widgets that we have lined up that we frequently use. So our dashboard is located here in the center of the screen, and on the left hand side you'll see all of your different menu items for the WordPress system. So one of the widgets that I mentioned previously for the plugin Monster Insights is just here, and you can see it gives me a little bit of an overview as to what I'll be looking at in terms of statistics for the website. And we also have another widget here for Yoast, and again we're going to go through that in a bit more detail shortly anyway. But I'd like to take you directly to the Monster Insights dashboard initially. So here on the left hand side you'll see that we have the Insights button. If I click on that, I'm taken to the Monster Insights dashboard. It's a really lovely interface that shows you that shows you your analytics data from Google Analytics, just in a really easy to view way, and shows you what we consider to be the more important statistics rather than some of the other stats that Google Analytics might sort of pad things out with. So at first glance here, you'll see a lovely graph of sessions, so you can see how the page has, how popular the page has been over the past 30 days. I can also click here to see the page views. And down here, we've got a breakdown of some interesting stats, including the sessions. So the sessions are sessions of a single user to your website. Page views are exactly that. It's each page view on your website, including refreshes. And the average session duration is exactly that. This is the average amount of time that a visitor has spent on your website. And the bounce rate is actually the visitors to your website that have left relatively quickly without visiting any other pages. So they visited the landing page and then left the site. So these are to be considered perhaps users that have ended up at the wrong place or mistakenly visited the website in some cases. And then further to that, down here below, we have our new versus returning visitors, which is excellent. You can see that 85% of visitors to our Click website are new visitors. And device breakdown, which is also really, really important. 88% of users that visit our website visit it on a desktop computer, 0% on tablet, which is really interesting, and a 12% visitor base using mobile devices. What's interesting here is that for most of our customers, this is the other way around, and that the mobile devices tend to be the most frequent visitors to the site. And then below that, we've got the top 10 countries that visitors visit the site from. Interestingly enough, we have more visitors visiting the Click NFP website from America than we do from the UK, which is interesting. She'll feed that back to my marketing team. And on the right-hand side here, what I find to be one of the most interesting stats is your top 10 referrals. So these are the sites that are sending visitors to your website and where people are coming from. So you can see the biggest referrer to our charity website is our business website, clickit.com. And then further to that, it's LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. And actually, interestingly enough, one of our customers' websites, which seems to have had quite a few clicks from their website to ours. And here at the bottom, you can see some interesting stats surrounding the actual posts and pages on WordPress itself. So you can see here that our small charity IT Day is by far our most popular page with 471 visits. And so although this is the free version of Monster Insights, you can see that it does actually give you quite a lot of fantastic detail. And what I have found a few customers doing is just screenshotting this from time to time and placing these screenshots in a report so that they can see how the site is performing over the course of a year or so. So yeah, that's Monster Insights. And what I'd like to do now actually is show you how easy it is to create a page within WordPress using Elementor, which is our content editor that we recommend using. And I'm going to do that by starting off visiting our pages section here on the left hand side, and you'll see a list of all the pages that we have on WordPress. And if I sort these by date, then you'll see that the most recent one was the small charity IT Day one here at the top. Now, when we build a website for a customer, we quite often recommend that they don't have to reinvent the wheel each time they add a new page to the site. So what I'm going to start off doing is showing you just how quickly it is to duplicate an existing site page on the site so that you've got something to begin with. So using this little tool down here, I'm going to press the EA duplicator button, and it's going to clone this page for me I'm going to order it by date again, and then you'll see the very top one here is Small Charity IT Day 2022 draft. So I'm going to use our 2022 page as a template to create our 2023 page. I have already actually been in here and deleted a lot of the stuff that was relevant to 2022, so that it just speeds up the process for today. But one of the first things I'm going to do is click on the title here, and it's going to take me into the WordPress editor for this particular page. And you'll note here that it's prompting me to edit the page with Elementor. Now that's where the magic really happens. But initially, I'm just going to change a couple of things in the WordPress editor. I'm going to make this about Small Charity IT Day 2023. And then I'm going to click Save Draft up here at the top. So that saves that title that I've just changed. And I'll just double check down here. There's nothing else. The subheading is actually 2021. So that didn't get changed. I'll just change that there as well and click Save Draft. And interestingly enough, down here, you can see the Yoast tool I mentioned previously, which is a fantastic tool for search engine optimization. And one of the things it's doing here right off the bat is showing you what this page is going to look like in a mobile search result as it currently stands, or in a desktop search result there. And you can tailor this accordingly by changing the meta description here as well. And there are some more tools which I'm going to go through in a little bit more detail within the Elementor area rather than here. So all I've done here is change a couple of things, and I'm going to go into Elementor with edit with Elementor here. Fantastic. So this has taken me into my Elementor editor, and as you can see, it's rather empty at the moment. I've got my header and my footer, but as I roll my mouse around the page, you'll see that the different areas are highlighted with these blue boxes. Now they are my module positions, and they're part of what makes Elementor so great, is that it's really flexible and it's very much a drag and drop interface. So to begin with, let's say I'd like to place a title up in this area here. So I'm just going to click the plus sign here, and you'll see that it's given me lots of options as to how I would like to structure this area that I've just created. I can have 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, and so on. So for this title, I'm just going to want to have a single column. So I'm going to pop that in there, and you can see it's given me a placeholder here. And now all I have to do is go back to my Elements menu, which is here at the top left. If I click on the Elements menu, you'll see these are all elements that I can simply drag onto the screen. So I'm going to want to put a heading here. I'm just going to drag this heading box over. You can see I'm just dragging it from here over to the area that I've just created, and you can see it's given me the area to add my heading. So I'm going to type in Small Charity, help if I could spell it correctly, IT Day 2023. Oh, there we go. I can set all of the usual stuff that you would expect to be able to set here. I'm going to centralize that, and I'm going to change the default size to large. Oh, bear with me, to XXL, there we go. And then if I click on the style button here at the top, and this is something you'll come across with all of the areas that you work in with Elementor, that they're going to have 3 sections up here at the left hand side at the top, and style is obviously where you can change things like the color. I wanted to put that in black, and I can change things like the font as well if I wanted to through here, but I'm quite happy using the standard font that the website uses. And then advanced lets me do things like padding and moving things around. So for example, I'd like to leave a little bit more space between this and the header. So I can say, let's pad this out slightly, and I'm going to just keep pressing the up arrow here, and you can see it's adding that gap for me. I'll go back to my elements now, as I'd like to add some more content to the site here in this area below. So I'm going to click the plus sign here and choose 2 columns for this demonstration, and that's going to give me 2 specific columns here that I can drag my elements into. And then we're going to do some add some more content and see just how great Elementor really can be. So firstly, on the left hand side here, I'm going to want to place some more text for my new page. I'm going to drag this text box area. Actually, bear with me, it's not in a section, it's text editor. It's this one here that I want to drag over. That will create a text box for me with some dummy text. And what I'm going to do is just pop over to the Word document that I had created earlier, which has got some text that we're going to use. So I'm going to copy this text here and onto my clipboard. So right hand mouse button and copy will do it. But what we want to be careful of with any website editor that you're using actually is that you don't paste in your text directly from Word, because it will bring the formatting with it and it can confuse things. So what you can do with Chrome and with Edge now is if you click right hand mouse button, you'll see there is an option to paste as plain text. If you don't have this option in your browser, you can always paste your text into a basic notepad file and then paste it into Elementor afterwards. So I'm going to do paste as plain text, and that removes all of the formatting there for me as well. Bear with me because that didn't actually paste anything in. Perhaps I didn't copy it. Let me try again. I'll give that a go. And paste as plain text. There we go. Excellent. So you can see the paste as plain text there has brought it all up plain for me. So first thing I'm going to want to do is make that title slightly bolder. So I'm just going to leave another space there, highlight my text here, make it bold and centralize it. Can also go perhaps a little bit bigger on that, so I can make it one of our headings here. And I might want to change the color of that as well. So I could say actually text color red. Oh, bear with me because that's changed the whole lot. We'll make that black and we'll highlight just this text here. And we should be able to change the color of just that. Bear with me a second. There we go. You can see here that's the text I've pasted in. I'm quite happy with the format of that. Do forgive me because it says 2022 in lots of places, but we can update that later. I won't bore you with that. So you can see in order to add text, it's really that simple. I've just dragged over a text box and I can do all of my great stuff here. I can even do things like my linking very easily. So if I wanted this to link to a specific page here, I can highlight that text, click the link button here and then pop in the URL that I'd like it to link to. But for now, I'm going to leave that text as is, and I'm going to show you some examples of what else you can drag across to your website using Elementor. So one of the things that we like to use quite frequently on a lot of the websites that we build is the video integration. So I'm just going to, as an example, drag this video box over from the left-hand side and place that in my column to the right here. And you can see here that's put in my video placeholder straight away. Now, the nice thing about the Elementor system and video integration is that all I have to do is go and take a link. So here's a link of a YouTube video that we've produced previously. And I'm going to take that and place that into the box here on the left-hand side. And you'll see it creates my video for me. And I do have some fantastic options here of whether I want the video to autoplay, whether I'd like it to start muted, whether I'd like it to loop, or the player controls to be available and so on. And you're a little bit more restricted to the sizing of a video because it's got to be in scale. But I'm going to leave that. I quite like that size. It's not too bad. And then let's say actually next year's Small Charity IT Day isn't just going to be a webinar. Let's say it's going to be an in-person event. I can't confirm that as of yet, but let's say for this example, it is going to be. I can then drag over a maps element from my left-hand side and place that just below my video here. And it places a Google map underneath. To give it a second. Oh, perhaps I didn't quite drag that. There we go. It's placed a map underneath there for me, and all I have to do here on the left hand side again is pop in the location, postcode or business name or whatever it is you like. It works on Google Maps, so I can just pop in click IT and it's popped our office in there. And then let's say actually I want to reduce the height of that map so it's in line with the text as well. So it's only a little map there, but when they click on the icon it can take them to Google Maps as well and show you the exact address. So it's a really easy way to add a map to your system as well, and you can see it's just drag and drop and play around with the settings on the left hand side. Another fantastic thing that we can do with Elementor is to be honest with you, if you do have a chance to play around with it, do take a look at all of the elements because the list is quite exhaustive, and we add additional ones as well because we use the Elementor Pro and some of the add-ons, but just a really simple one that I'm going to add here as an example of a countdown timer. So I'll just drag a countdown timer over here. I'll pop that in down here. You can see it's added itself here, but not in the nicest format. So I'm going to edit that. And on the left hand side, I can choose the date. So let's say November 2023. It's actually a Thursday, so we can change that here to Thursday. And you can see that's my countdown timer below, but let's quickly change the color of that. So if I go to my style here, I can choose my color and typography, and change that horrible looking yellow color to something a bit more appealing. In fact, to be honest with you, it's probably okay in black. And then the label, which is for some reason appeared in white, I'm going to make in, well, let's say red or something like that. So you can see that's now labeled below. And back in my content here, I can also choose to switch off the minutes, because we probably don't need that, and the seconds. And then we've just got days and hours. In fact, let's leave the minutes on because it does look a little bit better. So just a really quick example of, you can drag all of these fantastic functions over and very quickly create a lovely looking piece of content. So below this, what we'd like to do is add a sign up form to the site. Now, actually, what I would like to do first is extend that map just so it matches the bottom here. So I've gone back to my map here. I'm just going to drag that out, and you can see it's made the map now nice and bigger, and it now fills up that space for me. It's also automatically opened up the pop-up window here because it's got more room as well, which is great. Excellent. So I'm going to go back to my elements here, and if I search my elements for the word form, you'll see that there are various forms that you can use. We're just going to use the basic Elementor form today. So I've not created a module position down here. I didn't click the plus sign, but because I want the form to take up the full width of the page, I don't need to. I can just drag that over. So it's actually this one, sorry, that I'm going to drag the form. I'll drag that over to here, and you'll see that's added a form for me. It used to be quite complicated and a boring thing to try and add a form to your website previously, but it's now, as you can see, really easy. What I'd like to do is add a quick title to that form. So I'm just going to add a heading and drag that above the form here, and we're going to pop in the words sign up below. And we can centralize that, and again we can style that text so that it's in keeping with the rest of the page. Excellent. So in the form itself, if I click this little edit button here, I can edit the form, and you'll see that on the content section here, I've got my various fields and the form name. So it's going to be a sign up form, and you'll see that I can add extra items here. So let's add one here, and let's say we want to put in the telephone number. Let me just drag that above the message so it sits above the message, and then this item 3 here, we're going to call that a number. So we drop down the box here, and you can do things like check boxes and dates and times and file upload if you want to. It's a very powerful form editor, actually. But for now, we're just going to go with tel. Actually, there you go, for telephone number, and we're going to give it the label tel and tel. So you can see here, it's really simple. And then underneath that, I've got actions after submit. I'll just check that, and it's going to collect the submissions and email. And I can check the email settings, and it's going to email my colleague Matt, and it's going to have the subject new message from, and it's going to give us the page name. So it's all really raring to go. I can leave that form now, and it will certainly work. And then further to that, what I'd like to do below that is we can add the social media icons that we frequently use. Again, it's another element that I can just drag over here, and you'll see that that places the social media icons below as well. There we go. So I'm quite happy with that page. It's a very simple page. It's does the job. But what I'll do is I'll also show you some of the other features that Elementor has, so that you may wish to use them elsewhere. Really simply, if I wanted to add a single image to the site, I can just drag over an image. Let me create a new area between the sign up form and the map here. Let's actually give this area 3 columns. And you'll see that here, in fact, actually, what I'll do is I'll do 2 columns. Let me just change that and do 2 columns. You'll see that on the left-hand side, if I go back to my elements, I can drag over a single image just by dragging the image placeholder over. And then on the left-hand side, clicking on the placeholder and choosing the image that I'd like to add. So let's say it's a single image. Let's use, I don't know, we'll put the Elementor logo in there for now. And then on the right-hand side, let's say actually I want to put a gallery in. Now that again is something that used to be quite annoying to try and make on older versions of WordPress or sites that don't have such great editor functionality. So I'm just going to search for gallery. I'm going to drag over my basic gallery here, and you'll see it's put in a placeholder for a basic gallery. And then on the left hand side, I can click the plus symbol here and choose all the photos that I want. And because this is about an event, let's choose all the photos of us at an event I can find. I'll try and keep it even, so I'll pop in 10 there, and we'll do create new gallery here at the bottom right, and insert gallery, and you'll see it instantly adds the gallery for me. It's done all the lightbox work for me, and I can flick through the photos accordingly, and it's just a really simple, easy way to add a gallery. I can edit this and say, actually, I want the thumbnails to be larger, and it'll make them larger, or I can say, actually, I only want there to be 2 columns, for example, and you can edit and adjust it to make it work for you. Obviously, it might need a little bit of tweaking here. Let me just get rid of that. Pop them back as 4. So yeah, just a really quick look at what it might look like to add a gallery. I think ideally this would have another 2 photos in it. Let's see if we can't find another 2 photos actually. Add to gallery. Let's just use these 2 as an example. And that should fill up that gap there. So yeah, we've added a gallery, we've added a photo, we've added a map, we've added a contact form, we've added a video, we've added lots of text. And then one of my favorite features of Elementor is that it's also really easy to introduce animations into the site. So if I click edit this section, for example, I can then click on the advanced area up here on the left, and then just go to motion effects and choose an entrance animation. So I can say, actually, when someone loads this, I want it to fade in from the left. And although that does seem like a bit of a cheesy PowerPoint feature, it does go a long way in showing that the website is modern, and it looks excellent on both mobiles and laptops and tablets as well. Which actually brings me on to one of the other features that I would like to show you, which is that with Elementor, you can very quickly use this button down here to see what the page is going to look like, both on a mobile phone, and you can see here it's done all the work for me in sizing those text boxes, sizing the countdown timer, the video, the map, the images, the gallery. It's taken care of all of that really. However, if I did want to make some changes, let's say actually I wanted to edit how this gallery looks on a mobile device. If I click edit here, you'll note that a lot of my options for editing have a little mobile phone symbol next to them, which shows that I'm actually only editing that particular section for the mobile view alone, which is excellent. And again, here we have it for the tablet view as well, and you'll see that it's automatically sized everything according to the tablet size as well. So that's really powerful. It's an excellent feature. I'll leave the responsive mode now and go back to the editor. And one of the other really nice features of Elementor is that you can save templates. So let's say actually I really like this section that I've created here and I'm going to want to use this on other pages. I can really quickly save that just by clicking right-hand mouse button here and saving it as a template. As an example of this, we saved a small template earlier on of our account management team profiles. So if I click on this middle box here, I can add a template, go to my templates up here, and then click on account managers and insert and apply, and you'll see this is a section that we've used elsewhere on the website that I can really quickly just add to the site. Just give it a second to refresh here. It's got to catch up with some of those animations, and you'll see here that's all animated in for me, and we've got this fantastic account management box down here which has just been added for us. Further to that, buttons at the bottom here, they're also very useful. Is our preview change button. So if I click on that, it takes me, it opens up a new tab and it takes me to a live preview of the site. And you can see here that's complete with animations and the video and the map and the gallery that works. Absolutely everything's fully functional. Really, really lovely animations to all of the gallery as well. Our form down here, which works, sorry. And it will use things like checking. So if you don't do the email address correct, it will tell you. And we can send that form as well, and it will send a test email over to my colleagues as it's sent successfully. And there's our account management box. So you can see it didn't really take very long. It's taken less than half an hour, and I've knocked up a lovely looking page for next year's event. No doubt my colleague Jenny will do a much better job than me when she comes to actually redo this page. But the point was to show you just how quickly it can be done. So another fantastic tool that we mentioned previously is Yoast. If I click on the sandwich menu here at the top left hand corner, you'll see that I actually have a Yoast integration into Elementor here. So if I click on that, it's now going to show me an analysis of the SEO of my website. So you can see here that the readability analysis is green. However, if I look down this, there are some issues here that it's flagged as red. I can click on this and it will show me an example of what it means on the Yoast website. So it's saying that I'm lacking transition words and that I should use more transition words, and it's telling me exactly how I need to go about improving my content. Further to this, there's my Google preview down here as well that I mentioned earlier. So you can do a lot of this within Elementor itself. With Yoast, it's quite difficult to get all green traffic lights. I wouldn't worry about trying to make everything green, but it is a really useful way of seeing how to improve your content, and also for getting a fantastic training resource for free from Yoast as well. So, as you do take note of these, no doubt you will improve your content next time round, and it can make a fantastic improvement to your site's performance. Okie dokie. So now that we've created our page, let's say actually I wanted to publish the page. Oh, actually, sorry, before I do that, I forgot I needed to mention the revision history with you guys. So if you look at the bottom here, there's also a button here for revision history. Now I can click on this revision history and I can see every single change that I've made with you this afternoon, and I can roll back to any point in today's session and revert back to all of these changes. Further to that, at the top here, I've got revisions. Now, because I've only created this page today, this isn't showing me previous revisions, but on our other pages, this might have 2, 3, 4 years worth of different times this page has been saved, and I can really quickly, just by clicking on any one of them and publish, I can make that revision live again. So it's really important to know that with Elementor, you can work on drafts, you can play around with it to your heart's content, and if you're unhappy with it for any reason at all, it's so easy to revert back. Or if a colleague's been in and has made something stop working, then you can very easily revert back to a previous version. So that's the revision history that I mentioned previously, and it is extremely granular. It's fantastic. But now, last but not least, what I'd like to do is publish this page, and I'm going to publish it here, and it's going to then tell me it's published. I can go back to my WordPress dashboard by clicking on the sandwich menu and clicking exit here. And you'll see that on the left hand side under appearance, I have an option for menus, and I'll just click on that menu there. And on the left hand side here, that's my page that I've just created, and I can click add to menu, and you'll see it adds it to the very bottom of the menu here. And I can say, right, oh, let me get rid of the previous one, which I was testing with earlier. You can see it's added it here, and I can just drag that to where I'd like that in the menu. So let's say actually I want that to be under get in touch, just above the contact us, just as an example today. I'll click on save. And then at the very top here, I can click on visit site, and it's going to take me to the front end of the website, but it's going to show me that I'm logged in because it'll have this bar across the top. But then you can see if I go to our find out more, you'll see there's our page that we've just created today, and that is live now on our website. And everyone can view and fill out the form as they see fit. But yeah, we'll obviously be removing that and doing a proper page for next year's event, but that's just a demonstration of just how easy it is to add content to Elementor